Hello everybody, welcome back to episode 117 of the Save Slot 3 Gamescast. I'm your host, Gizmo, joined this week by Massive Das.
Hello everyone.
And Mr. CW Lanky.
Hi Dave.
Boys, another week has passed. We're all ready to go. And just life is good. So we've got lots to talk about this week. And we're going to start this week, as we always do, with the Chris Pengi news desk.
And I have 11 items on the news.
A baker's dozen.
Yeah, no new items added from either of you, so we go with my 11. And number 1, Amazon will publish Maverick's AAA open world racing game, and this is from a bunch of ex-Forza Horizon devs. I can't remember hearing about loads leaving Playground or why they left Playground, but yeah, a bunch did, and they've sort of formed a new studio. It includes the director, I believe, of Forza Horizon 5. I know you're a big racing game fan, Davey, so thoughts?
It's interesting. So is it an open world racing game, or is it just an open world game?
It's an open world racing game.
Okay, it's interesting. I mean, Amazon have a really bad track record for publishing games, so that would give me reason to pause. But obviously, I just want to wait and see the trailer, Pengi.
They could be. I don't know how far in development. It could be quite a way off. Craigie, any thoughts? Because obviously you do like Forza Horizon.
I thought Amazon had got out of this space, like for publishing games at this point.
Who knows what Amazon is up to?
I thought they dipped their toe in that water and went, "Whoa, I'm getting out of here." So yeah, it's interesting to hear that they're going to have another go. Hopefully it works out better. Because they had a few like MMOs, right, that came out.
Yeah, and one did okay for about a week, and then everyone
forgot about it. I can't even remember what the fuck it was called.
Ark or
It was
something
called
like that.
New World.
That was it.
Oh.
Yeah, that had a big week, didn't it? And then death.
Yeah.
Hopefully this is much better.
They are publishing weirdly Bandai Namco's Blue Protocol. I don't know why Bandai just aren't publishing it themselves, but there's that.
Probably
one
not
as
a great
well.
sign.
No.
Okay.
Next time on the news, sticking on the racing theme, Test Drive Unlimited is coming September to PS5 series and PC. Back to you, Davey, a racing game.
I mean, was the last test drive 13 years ago?
Possibly.
For the Xbox 360, I think.
I can't remember one on the PS4 and Xbox One.
No, so I mean, interested. It's Nacon are doing it right, and KT Racing. So we'll see. They haven't made a game since WRC Generations. Was about 3 years, I think. So, and I know they've basically moved all of their racing teams to this game. So we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, again, I think we've seen footage of it before, but it's one of those that it will inevitably review.
I think we've
okay.
seen it quite a few times.
Yeah, so
over the years.
When it's in a bargain bin, I think it'll probably be worth playing, but we shall see.
What about you, Craigie?
Yeah, I think this has been knocking around for a while, hasn't it? Or at least been rumoured for a while. But they said, was there a date, or was it just this year?
It's September. I can't remember exactly what day it is in September.
Oh, okay, so it's actually a date as well now. I'll be honest, I don't think I've ever played a test drive game.
It was a very
yeah,
early Xbox 360 racing game.
Yeah, the first. What was it called? Well, the first one on 360 was pretty good.
Yeah, I know people like the old ones, didn't they? But I don't think I've ever played them personally. But, yeah. Again, hopefully it's good.
Yeah, for me, it's a weird one. And I was kind of chatting to you about this, Davey. Like, obviously, like what's coming this year, what's got dated, and this is like not like a day one buy, but it's going to maybe pile, like you're saying, in the sale. Because it's coming to series and PC, but on PlayStation, racing games there's obviously a lot of racing games like F1 24 just come out and stuff like that. And you got like GT7 for the series, but when I think racing games, I think like Nintendo, Mario Kart, that's like the best kart racer. And I think Xbox, you've got Forza Horizon and stuff like that, and PlayStation don't really have anything. So these two racing games maybe could fill like that void, especially the Maverick one being from Forza people that PlayStation sort of has. If it's not Sim Racer of GT7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Test Drive Unlimited, Craig, 2006, 2011. Eden Games, who of course famously made V-Rally 3, so they were great games. Not the team making the next one. So there we go.
Yeah. And I think I called it Test Drive Unlimited. It's not called that, is it? It's called Test Drive Solar.
It's called Test Drive. It's called Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown.
Okay, they added the subtitle to the. Okay. Number 3, Toys for Bob have now officially gone independent, and they have got a new game in development. It is a very early development stage, and Xbox will be the publisher of the game. And they said don't expect to see anything for like ages. So, Craigie, what do you think this could be? A Crash game, Spyro game that Xbox has lent out back to Toys for Bob?
Yeah, I think it's going to be one of them, right? This kind of like broke ages ago, didn't it? Kind of like at a league door. People just put 2 and 2 together quite a while ago.
Yeah.
And people, I think everyone was getting excited because they changed their like Twitter biopic to like Spyro or something. So everyone got excited for that then. But you'd imagine it'd be one of those two, wouldn't you? But again, with the length it takes for games to come out nowadays, it'd be a long way away, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I reckon 3 years time maybe at the earliest.
Yeah.
What about you, Davey?
They're a really good developer. So yeah, it's a weird one because I'm not the biggest Spyro guy. I've played the first one. I played the 1 and 2 back in day when we were young. Didn't play Year of the Dragon. Haven't played any of the subsequent Elijah Wood ones, if you remember the period where Elijah Wood voiced Spyro the Dragon. And then did play in platinum to the first of the remakes of the trilogy. And I own the trilogy, but I've only done the first game. But Toys for Bob in general make very high quality platformers, because even the Skylanders games were very fun. So I'm quite excited for it. Crash 4 is an incredible game as well. I don't think you've played it. But Crash 4 is a really, 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 really good platformer, and I do highly recommend it. So if it's a similar quality, then all would be good.
I guess the only other weird thing is like they've gone independent from Xbox. You know,
I
like
would
Xbox
imagine
have bought all these studios and then let one of the like better ones go free.
I think, to be honest with you, it's the clairvoyance of Toys for Bob should be commended, because I suspect had Tango Gameworks known that this was an option, they would have done the same. Because it's not the overhead of having to technically run the studio, it's just paying them per product. So I think it's very, very clever from whoever runs Toys for Bob to have done that deal with Xbox, because now Xbox they're not included in Xbox's numbers for cuts. They're just a contract. They're just contracted to Xbox. They can take on a mobile game contract if they want to boost their money or whatever. They're completely self-sustained. I do wonder, because obviously they weren't under Bethesda, they were under Activision. So I do wonder, because obviously Bungie have done this themselves, didn't they, a couple of years ago. I do wonder if it'd been an option.
Yeah, Bungie is a weird one, because they were under Xbox, then went independent, then got signed up by Activision, then went independent again, and then bought by Sony. So that's Bungie's very weird.
I know Jez, when this all like broke a while ago, the scoop was that they had gone pretty much completely work from home, because there was some cuts there, wasn't there, that people were publicising, and that part of the reason they wanted to go independent is because obviously they fall under Activision. They didn't want to be an endless Call of Duty machine studio anymore. So I guess it's worked out the best for everyone, right?
Absolutely.
They get their independence, we get games that just Call of Duty maps essentially.
Yeah.
And I imagine it would be on Game Pass as well, because if Xbox are publishing.
Yeah, because it's Xbox published. Yeah, you'd think it'd be on Game Pass.
And it fits Spyro. I mean, they own the IP, so.
Yeah.
Next item: Nintendo and Lego announced a Great Deku Tree set, which will cost £260. How many have you pre-ordered, Dave?
I mean, it's wild. This is a Chris Pengelly putting a story in for himself job here, because I've never ever shown interest in buying Lego, let alone Zelda Lego. But £260 seems excessive for Lego to me. But
yeah, Lego
how big is this tree, Pengi?
It looks quite big from the pictures.
Because if I'm paying £260, I want a pretty fucking big Lego set.
It is a 2-in-1 Lego set, so you can have either the Ocarina of Time style, or you can put it in Breath of the Wild style, and you get, I think it's 4 mini figures. You get 3 Links and a Zelda.
Your set would be in the Breath of the Wild configuration, yeah?
Weirdly, that tree does look good because it's got like the pink leaves and that, but no, it would be Ocarina of Time.
Have you pre-ordered it yet, Pengi?
I have not, because 260 quid is a lot of money. You say it's expensive for Lego, but some Lego sets are like £1,000 and stuff like that. So Lego is very expensive thing. But no, I think this is too much for me. This one, but we've got
How long does it take to build it?
Oh, quite a while, I expect. Like my tool neck that took me what, a good 2 or 3 hours to build my tool necks, and that was a 90 quid set. It's a 260, so I should have way more pieces. So yeah, a good day, couple of days
Indeed.
of entertainment. But now they got one set, maybe we'll get some more sets, because there is other Nintendo ones like the NES and Bowser, and there's the Animal Crossing set and the small Mario ones. So maybe we get more Zelda stuff that are more reasonably priced.
Just money.
Yep. Next item. Little Nightmares 3 has been delayed to 2025.
Did someone
At times.
Did one of us take this for fantasy?
No.
No.
No, okay.
Craigie, I know you like the Little Nightmares games. I know this is also a different developer. This is Supermassive, not Tanzer, or whatever they were called.
Yeah, because is it Tarja? I think they're called.
Yeah.
They wanted to do something different, didn't they? Essentially.
Mm.
They were big nightmares.
Exactly. Yeah, I do like the first 2 games quite a lot. But yeah, it's one of those transfers where like they are fun, but you do wonder, is like, do we need a third one anyway?
This one's completely co-op, I think, though.
Yeah, the second one I feel like had some like, if it was co-op or like multiple characters, right?
Yeah, it was Mono and I can't remember the other character's name that you had in that one.
Yeah, no, I can't remember. But no, like I said, the first 2 are good games. And I'm sure I'll probably play this next year when it eventually comes to one of the services at some point, right?
Yeah.
What about you, Davey?
Absolutely not.
Oh.
Not my type of
Indie trash.
Indie trash with horror.
Was it really indie? It's Supermassive and Bandai.
But you're not denying it's trash, Chris. So.
Well, the first 2 were pretty good. So.
Just not my type of game.
Okay, too scary for Dave. What might be Dave's type of game is Tomba, or Tombi, depending on where you are in the world. A special edition launches August 1st for PS5, Switch, and PC, and it will come later in the year for the PS4. One for you, I guess, Davey, this one?
I mean, I do love Tomba. Tomba's a great game. Tomba 1 and Tomba 2 are great games. Weird games. Most people have never actually played the game. I think it's one of the most... I played the PS1 demo game of all time ever.
Yeah.
You're a pink-haired prehistoric guy that jumps on pigs.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty great game. So, I mean, am I going to buy it? No. But, if you haven't played Tomba and you want to play Tomba, it's great.
No, you're not going to buy. I thought you would buy it, get some trophies or something.
No, I'm not in any great rush to be buying 25-year-old platformers right now. I'm just playing through the 20-year-old RPG at the minute. So, but yeah, it was one of those things. It's one of those type of games. If I ever saw it for like 15, 20 quid, like the Alex Kidd one, if I saw it really cheap, I'd be like, maybe. You know, it's a fun afternoon, right? It's not a massively long game.
No. I guess this isn't for you, Craigie, and you must
Craig
have
has no idea what it is. Yeah,
I had never heard of this. I was frantically Googling whilst Dave was just talking. Interesting box art.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it like a remaster at all, or is it just the old games?
It's like a remaster, but
They were
from limited
PlayStation
run,
1 games.
So it is pretty much going to be a PlayStation. No, it's only the first one. You don't even get the second.
Oh, okay, no, that's less of a reason to buy it then.
Yeah, I'm watching footage of it now. I'm not sure this is a game I want to be playing in 2024. I'll be honest.
No. Again, the demo
No.
was really good, but I think it's one of those type of
Yeah,
games.
and it is on PSN for like PS3 and Vita, and I guess you can still play it on your PSP if you download it on PS3. But it is a really expensive PS1 game, so if you did want to play it, this is going to be a much affordable way. Because I doubt many people are going to drag out their PS3 and buy it off PSN either. So I guess that's the real benefit of it, is that you've
I
got
think
an
I had it
easier
on
way to
Vita.
play it.
I think that's how I last played it. I think I had it digitally on Vita for a tenner.
Yeah.
But yeah, long time ago now.
Yeah. Next news story. Evercade have announced some new hardware, and it's the Evercade Alpha, which is 2 bar top arcade machines. One of them will be Street Fighter themed, which will come with 6 Street Fighter games, including the very good Street Fighter Alpha series. And then the other one will be Mega Man themed, but it actually only comes with 2 Mega Man games. The other games on it are Carrier, Air, Wing, Final Fight, Knights of the Round, and Strider. And there is some bonus special pre-order editions, which are slightly more expensive, but come with a extra controller. Have you seen these, Davey? And do they do anything for you?
Yeah, so they're really cool because they're going. It's really cool that Evercade are doing well enough that they can keep bringing out these new products, and they're kind of sort of reaching into the one-up arcade area now with the bar top arcade, and both sets of arcade setups have really good game selections for the type of arcades they are. Like the second one, the Mega Man one, has like Strider's a great game. The Mega Man games are really good. Like Final Fight's a really good arcade game. It's interesting. It's not something in my current situation that I could or would consider, but if I were to buy a house in Oklahoma and have a basement, it'd be absolutely something I would consider because it's still quite cheap for what it is. So I think it's a really cool idea, and obviously it's a British studio, so it's cool. It's a cool thing. It's not something I'm going to jump out and buy, but I think it's a pretty cool idea.
Yeah, I don't know where I would put it, and
Right.
and it's
In
like
a drawer is where you would put it, Pengi. Am I right?
It's a big drawer.
It's a huge, and I don't
A
really,
cupboard then.
and I don't really, it doesn't really do anything to me. It's good that it still plays Everkite games, so you can, especially the arcade carts on an arcade setup, and you can plug in a second controller for 2-player and stuff like that. If you're playing a standard like console game or something, you've got that.
I think if you're
option,
really into retro
like
games, I think it's it's a really good. It's a really cool. I mean, their whole product line I think is really cool if you're into retro 16, 18-bit games that aren't specifically Nintendo or Sega. I think that's a really cool thing. But for me, I think they need to get, if they get Sega in any way, then I think it really is a game changer for their whole product line. But I think it's cool that there's multiple ways to essentially buy a console. So you can buy the £50 Game Boy looking thing all the way up to buying a whole arcade setup. I think that's a pretty cool thing, especially for a British tournament. They all play the £20 sets of games, I think. In 2024, I think that's a pretty cool thing. It's very different. It's not something silly like the Playdate, which is like really, really niche. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think it's a genuinely like interesting setup. There is an audience for it. Not for us, I think, in the whole. I think, but again, like, I know that you've had interest in the handhelds and the console. Like the fact that they've got like Duke Nukem and Tomb Raider and stuff is pretty cool.
Yeah, Tomb Raider comes out in July for it. The only other, I guess, weird thing is I've got the Evercade EXP, which has got Capcom games built in, but the new one hasn't got Capcom. The VSR, no, the EXP-R, I should say, that comes out in July. The new one hasn't got Capcom games. Everyone's like, oh, they've lost the licensing yet, and then they've gone and done these 2 arcade machines. So it is kind of weird that the new handheld hasn't got the Capcom games built in, unless they're preempting when they do lose the license.
They're also very expensive, I'd imagine, right? Because they've got 4 products with the Capcom games built in.
3 now. It'll be 3.
Yeah,
so you've got the Super Pocket and these 2 bar tops. Yeah.
They did a console that had Capcom games built in, didn't they?
Yeah, but then the new console no longer has Capcom games. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, maybe.
And everyone's like, the license has ran out, and then you've got these 2 up here.
Yeah.
So,
nice.
So that's them. Next news item: Zenless Zone Zero will launch on PS5 on the 4th of July. 4th of July is a very busy day.
Is
I
this
was
one
in
of
Canada.
these gotcha ones?
Oh yeah, this is from Hyo Hyo of Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail.
Is
It's one
this
of them.
the turn-based one, or is it?
No, it's real time punchy kicking.
What's the difference between this one and the other ones? Then what's the?
Well, one's more fantasy based. That's Genshin Impact. So think
Yeah,
like dragons and stuff like that. Then the Honkai Star Rail was in space on a train.
yeah.
Yeah. And then this one's more like urban setting and stuff like that. And like they just did a new trailer which had the date, which is like showing the character who's like a wolf dude, sort of thing. So it's one for furries, I guess.
And you are a furry, Chris. So.
I'm not furry,
What?
but yeah. Nah. So this is coming the 4th of July.
Nice.
There is a pre-order up if you want to buy the like pre-order bonus version. I think it's a tenner, but it will be free to play. So there's that.
Is this you excited for this, Pengi? Or are you...
It looks good from the trailers, but I normally play it once, think, oh, this is quite good, and then never play it again.
Yeah, that is your lineage of these
Yeah,
games, isn't it?
but then July is kind of barren for game releases, so maybe.
You do have like 7 games that you bought from this year that you could start, right? So.
Oh yeah, I could. That could be the plan instead. Play
But he
one of
won't.
them.
So it's
No.
all good.
And watching the trailer now, this looks as generic can be.
Mm.
To be honest.
Is it the newest trailer with the?
It's an old
fourth
one,
guy?
I think.
Okay. Craig is not so convinced.
No.
Anyway, next news item. It is currently Days of Play, and part of Days of Play, we got our Plus Essential Games for June announced. And they are SpongeBob SquarePants Cosmic Shake, Streets of Rage 4, and AEW Fight Forever. And also they've extended EA FC 24 to June 18th is when it's going to be available to download and stuff. If you got Plus Essential. Davey, any of them you're going to be playing?
I think it's a pretty good lineup. To be honest, I think there's a bit of variety in that. I think all 3 of those games will definitely get added to the library, and I would at some point like to play them all. So I'm not. Yeah, I'm not thinking I'm imminently going to be like. Maybe AEW might be the first one because I haven't played like an arcadey wrestling game in a while. And obviously we could potentially do a video for that, couldn't we? So I think probably AEW will get downloaded, but I haven't finished Streets of Rage 4, so I'd love to go back to that. And SpongeBob Cosmic Shake is really, really good. So again, another good platform I recommend. Won't be playing FIFA, but other than that,
That's sort of a sequel to the one they did a remaster of, isn't it?
yeah. So it's a sequel to Battle for
Bikini
Bikini
Bottom?
Bottom, yeah. But it's had quite a fairly decent budget. It's an original game, and it's supposed to be pretty good. It's THQ. It's kind of like if they were to have done Destroy All Humans, like a newer one. It's like built in the same engine. Like it's pretty good. It's got quite good reviews. So if you like SpongeBob, get on it. Quite an easy platinum, I believe. So.
What about you, Craigie? Any of these float your boat?
I'll probably add all 3 to the library, like Dave. I know Streets of Rage 4, like people who are like into those sorts of games absolutely loved, right?
Oh yes.
I know, like Mike and Jeff absolutely adore.
Did you
that
play
game.
it on Game Pass when it was on Game Pass?
No.
Oh, then we should. Okay, we'll get on that. That's a co-op. That's absolutely a co-op game we'll play. It's like it's miles better than the Battletoads game, and I played that first, and then I tried to play Battletoads, and I was like, this isn't as good as Streets of Rage 4. But yeah, that's great. Streets of Rage 4 is an amazing game.
So yeah, and then SpongeBob, that could be a good handheld game, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I could maybe see that getting a go on the old portal.
What about AEW Fight Forever?
I don't know. I feel like I don't even know what's going on in AEW anymore, Pengi. I'll be honest with you. I am that far out of the loop when it comes to wrestling.
Yeah, I guess the game is so old. Like it's got CM Punk and Cody Rhodes in it, for instance. That aren't even in AEW now.
It's a shame, really. I think I'll try it because it's a Duke's arcadey game. But if I was going to suddenly get back into wrestling, they're currently doing a NXT versus TNA thing. Probably would rather watch that and see I think AJ Styles is against Cody Rhodes at the minute. That kind of feels like something I want to watch. So, but if I was going to do it, that's what I do. I think.
Yeah.
It was bad timing for them, wasn't it? Because they brought out that game, and I don't think it was as good as
was just too late.
They were anticipating, and at the same time, WWE games, which had been bad for quite a while, suddenly started getting a lot better, right? And people started
it's almost,
actually enjoying them.
That's almost a mirror for the shows, though, isn't it? Because like, just as AEW was picking up steam, they've got worse, and then WWE now seems to be on the up. So
yeah.
Well, our free games, so it's all good.
Yeah, and talking to WWE, there is now a 2-hour trial for WWE 2K24, so you can go play 2 hours of that if you want through your Plus subscription.
Indeed.
Play that instead, Davey. And sticking to games coming to Plus, we have some bonus games part of Days of Play. And for extra and above, that's the middle tier and above, you got Dredge, which is now out now, and Lego Marvel Superheroes 2, which is out now. And then Cricket 24 will come June 5th, and then Grand Theft Auto San Andreas Definitive Edition will come June 7th. Will you be playing any of them, Davey?
I think I would potentially think about San Andreas. Whether I would play it or not, I don't know, because the Definitive Editions are pretty bad. And maybe I'd dabble in some Cricket 24. Lego and Dredge, not for me this time around. But again, it's what time you have when these games hit, innit, really.
What about you, Craigie?
Not really. I mean, people liked that Dredge game, didn't they? And it got quite a lot of content and DLC like afterwards.
Yeah.
So it obviously did pretty well. But I don't think it was a Craig sort of indie game.
No.
From the look of it, to be honest with you. So.
Out of them, Dredge is the one that piques my interest out of those four. Sort of thing. But that's not. We have more bonus games. For premium, you're going to have 5 PSVR 2 games, and this is the first PSVR 2 drop for Plus. It's going to be Ghostbusters: Rise of the Ghost Lord, Walkabout Mini Golf, Synth Riders, Before Your Eyes, and Walking Dead: Since the Sinners, chapters 1 and 2. Obviously, none of us got PSVR 2, but Davey, I know you've played Walkabout Mini Golf on Quest, so I guess the 5 PSVR 2 owners, would you recommend Walkabout Mini Golf to them?
Yeah, I think all of those games are pretty good, but it's why bother? Like, who's got a PSVR 2 that they're still using that hasn't already played those games on a different VR headset?
Or already mostly bought them because they want content on their PSVR 2.
But yeah, Walk on Mini Golf's great, but I'd rather play it wirelessly on the Quest.
Yeah. Beyond Your Eyes, I played on PSVR 2. That is the best version of that game because I played it previously on PC where I used webcam and stuff to track your eyes. That's pretty good, and I know the Saints and Sinner games are supposed to be like top-notch VR games, and I'm guessing, Craigie, you don't care whatsoever.
No,
it's not made you run out and buy one, so I think it's probably not.
No, I don't know.
Yeah. They come June 6th, and then June 11th, we've got 3 more bonus games, and these are also in the premium tier. And this is the first lot of PS2 classics for that tier, because it's been PS1 and PSP. And those are Tomb Raider Legend, Star Wars: The Clone Wars, and Sly Cooper and the Phineas Raccoonus. Davey, so on June 11th, you're going to be up at like 9 o'clock in the morning downloading your Sly Cooper.
Maybe. It's one of those, obviously, we did our PS2 video recently, and I think I named that in my top 5 games. I've played it relatively recently, but it probably won't stop me playing it again. It's a fantastic...
And I have a new Platinum.
It will have a new Platinum. I have it on Vita, I think, and I don't think I have the Platinum on PS3. I think I just have the Platinum on Vita. But it's a really good sort of stealthy platformer game. From the era, very PS2, great game. Star Wars: The Clone Wars was a fun-ass vehicle, like... Twisted Metal game was on all the consoles back in the day, and that's a fun ass game. And Tomb Raider Legend is one of the better Tomb Raider games. I think that was a remake of the first game.
Yeah, it's part of the first reboot of when you had Legends or Anniversary and Underworld.
The only issue with that is obviously there was a 360 version that was way better than the PS2 version. But again, I think it's still pretty good. So I think it's a pretty good lineup for PS2 games. Pretty random set of licenses. But yeah, Sly Cooper is a great game if you haven't played it already.
Yeah. For me, I can't see me playing Star Wars. Sly Cooper will most probably get trophies, and I've never played it before, so I'm very excited for that. If Tomb Raider has trophies, then I'm definitely keen about playing that. But the third-party games are like 50-50 if they get trophies or not. Depends if they can be bothered. But PlayStation ones do are so keen for Sly Cooper. Craigie, will you be playing any of these PS2 classics? Did you play Clone Wars back in the day on your PS2 or anything?
Absolutely not. What? How does this work? So, do I have access to these as part of my subscription? I do get.
Yeah, this is the premium tier.
I don't know if I've got that, to be honest with you.
Mm.
I think I've got the middle tier.
Yeah, so you don't get these or the PSVR 2 games, so you don't get the.
Okay. Yeah, because I don't have much interest in these games, but I did see. Is it Need for Speed Underground 2 is on there or coming to it?
I think that's a rumor.
Oh, that's a rumor because I saw that and I was like, oh, if I've got access to that, I was like, oh, maybe I'd give it a go. But I also was like, am I gonna give this a go in my head? Like, you know how that nostalgia, you're like, oh, that was so good. I'm gonna turn it on and be like, oh, this is not how I remember it. Do you know what I mean?
I would be surprised if a game with that much licensed music is put on a remaster, if I'm honest with you. But then San Andreas is, right? So they did the PS2 port of that, so you never know.
I guess also it is days of play, so they got sales. You might be able to upgrade to the premium really cheap. That's what
I think I paid like
ended up with
£6
premium
to add it for the year or something
yeah,
stupid.
Yeah, it works out like per day how much you've got. So if you've only got like a month left or something, you like 60p or something, stupid. So it still might be worth checking out. Like I said, these are bonus games, so they're not the extra and premium drop for June. These are the like bonus. So we still got the drop for June to come at some point. And I guess also, Davey, now we're getting PS2 classics. Ratchet and Clank, the first one. Could that come? Because we hadn't had that before. Like, we have Jack and Daxter, we have Lost Frontier.
Yeah, I just hope they do all the obvious ones. So do God of War 1 and 2, do Ratchet and Clank, do the rest of the Sly games, because Sly only gets better. Sly 1's pretty good, Sly 2 and 3 are way better. Like, Ratchet's trilogy's pretty good. Like, just keep doing these, the obvious PS2 games that we want to play. Like, especially their own games. If there was a way to get the Gran Turismo games on there, that'd be wonderful. If there was a way,
I guess the problem with that was
it'll be licensing. Yeah, of course it will. But like, anything they can put on from the PS2, even the weird ones. Like, give me the PSP games that got ported. So give me like MotorStorm, Arctic Edge, because they did a PS2 version. Like, give me
anything else I can just see them just doing the PSP versions. Like
potentially,
so far.
Right? Potentially, but yeah, it's like that's the kind of stuff I want. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, I really hope that they give me Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4, because I'd love that, but I just don't think it's realistic.
No, it's weird. A lot of the classic games are either their own or Disney.
Yeah, Disney seems pretty good. Like, almost every Star Wars game is on PlayStation 5, right? Like, it's a hilarious amount of Star Wars games.
Yeah, there might just be like another weird one like Clone Wars that I'm not thinking of that could come over.
Yeah, there's still loads more. There's still plenty more they can put over.
Yeah, and obviously Disney games themselves. Right? And like, there's got to be a Tarzan game or something on
Disney Skate. That's what I want. They're going to do all the Disney games. It's just a Tony Hawk game with a Disney skin, and it's fun. Me and my girlfriend play it quite a lot. We love it.
Yeah, and that is the news.
Well done, Pengi.
Yeah.
Well, there's of course one more big news story. So I've got to do some behind the scenes magic. Here we go. We got live footage of the State of Play. There was a PlayStation State of Play, boys. So Craig, I believe you're going to host this segment.
I am. I've got a trusty list from the ever reliable IGN boys. And I Christ fingers. And I do believe it is in order. So
okay, cool.
Wonderful.
That is the main thing, right? So it started off, we had a lengthy showing of Concord from Firewalk Studios. We got quite a long CGI trailer, and then they cut back to some of the devs talking, and then they showed some gameplay. If we start with you, Pengi, because you're probably going to be the most positive, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
What did you think of the Concord show?
I thought it was better than the rest of the internet seems to be making out of it, but obviously there is a beta coming in July, so that's when I guess we will see if it is any good or not. And I kind of want to get back to this when we get to another game that was shown, and that is being talked about more positively, and I don't really know why when I look at these two games.
Yeah. What about you, Dave? Were you impressed by this at all?
So I wasn't impressed, but I wasn't. The problem was I thought it was a really bad idea doing the whole CG thing first. I thought it was a terrible idea, actually. You could have either done a shorter version of that trailer, or done it the other way around, or save that trailer for nearer the time. I just don't think it was 7 minutes or something stupid. Like, I really slowed it down. The gameplay. The problem with the gameplay is this is a terrible gameplay trailer, because half of it doesn't have, like, I don't think any of it has HUD. We don't really know what the game mode is. Like,
it looks like they're picking up the
looks
little robot
like
thing
though.
that was in the trailer.
It's like if you're gonna have essentially 8-10 minutes of talking about a game that's really dependent on gameplay that's coming out in a couple of months' time, like, do a bit more of a deep dive instead of doing a CG cutscene. Like, could be like, hey, this is the first game mode. It's called blah. This is this character. This character's skills are this. And we do this. Whereas, like, you're kind of having to pick it through the footage, because it doesn't look terrible at all. Like, I think it looks very competent. It looks very similar to other games. Like, it looks very much like Destiny's PvP.
It does.
And obviously Overwatch. But it's kind of like, I just kind of left this with more questions than answers, if that makes sense. Again, I wasn't like, this looks bad, but I also was like, I don't even really know what the point of the game is. I don't really know how much the game costs. I don't really know if it's a first-person shooter, or sometimes it's a first-person shooter, or sometimes it's a third-person shooter. Like, I'm not really, like, give me a deep dive. If this is the big game that you really need to sell, give me a deep dive, not, like, tell me about the character names when they just look like fucking Guardians of the Galaxy rip-offs, you know?
It is Firework are ex-Destiny people, and it does look, especially the map they were showing, it looks like a map that's on Destiny 2 Crucible. And weirdly, I do like a Destiny 2 Crucible. It's mostly, like, most of my 50 hours on Destiny 2. Well, I said it's more than 50 because obviously I played it on Xbox and Stadia and PlayStation 2 version on PlayStation. So let's say 100 hours combined all four systems. Like, a lot of that would have been Crucible, which we felt a little bit of an after for it as well on Destiny, apart from when it was like Iron Banner or something, like an event, sort of thing. So there's Destiny Crucible, and then that goes back to even like Halo 3 multiplayer and stuff like that. And it's got a point to it. That'd be pretty good, but we don't, like you said, don't really know what the game modes are or how much it's going to cost. Like, is it going to be free to play? Is it going to be 70 quid? Is it going to be 35 like Helldivers? In the trailer, if you pause it at some point, there's a bit where they're showing the characters. There's 4 characters that are listed as free agents. I don't know if that's just a story reason, or there's like a free to play version, you know, like Killer Instincts. You know, where it's like, oh, here's the 4 characters that are free to play this month or something. If you want the full package or something, you pay the 35 quid or something like that.
Yeah, they just didn't tell us that, though. That's the problem.
I guess when the pre-orders go up, which is next weekend, and obviously some of Game Fest is next weekend, so will we see, like, it again there? Will someone come on stage and, like what you're saying, but obviously Jeff had them on stage playing as one-off and showing like, oh, this is our deathmatch mode or a pickup sort of mode. I could see that sort of thing. But anyway, Craigie, what did you think?
I kind of echoing what Dave said. I think I messaged Dave at the time. I think showing the CGI trailer to start with, and it was actually really well rendered and looked really good CGI, in fairness. And then pretty much cutting straight to the gameplay and the actual, like, real graphics, I don't think it looked bad. But seeing the same characters that you'd just seen in these, like, perfectly pristine CGI and then cutting to actual, like, oh, this is the reality, I think that was a mistake personally, because I think it looked very jarring for, like, oh, it was almost like expectations versus reality, if that makes sense. So I thought that was very odd. They're talking about doing the weekly episode, aren't they, which they're doing the game, which should be a CGI mods to tell a story which goes ongoing as you're, like, playing your multiplayer games. I think other games have tried to do that. I just don't know if anyone cares, to be honest with you. It depends how lovable the characters are. You know, there's a lot of comparisons to Overwatch. I was watching it, like I said, I saw the Destiny as well, and that is, if I'm comparing a game to Destiny, I can't stand Destiny. So it's not a good start for me, definitely. And then like the Overwatchy likeness of it, I just part of the charm of, as an ex Overwatch addict is the kind of utility of Overwatch, right? So it's not all just like DPS. Like you have your healers and your tanks, and it's all about like, right, what's the meta at the moment? What like silly combinations can we do to make which are only going to work on this map on this game mode? So there was a period where everyone was just not even having DPS characters. It was just free tanks and free healers, and you were just running into each other and seeing who could outlast who. And I was watching this trailer, and it's like everyone just looks like a DPS shooty character, essentially. So, yeah, I don't know. I wasn't like so. Similar to Dave, like I didn't think it looked bad, but I also was not wowed by this in any way whatsoever. If this was shown as part of the Summer Game Fest Keighley show, and you replace PlayStation Studios with, I don't know, Saber Interactive or some other publisher, I think I would have forgotten what this is by now, in all honesty.
Yeah, I think that's a good and a bad thing, though. I think, like, obviously it sounds like a bad thing the way you're saying it. It's one of those bits, like, I have a little bit more faith that it might be given a chance because it's first party. So
yeah,
like,
yeah, definitely.
And it's like, I think like me and you are pretty much exactly the same. It's not that we're not interested. It's just that they haven't really sold us yet. Like, to me, the beta, put it on PS Plus. Let me try it. Because if we try it and it's £35 or it's free to play, like me and you, like for as an example here for Chris, this is a bit of a deep cut. Me and Craig played Bleeding Edge to death. They let us play it early. Remember, it was like a beta and we played it like free to play, and then it came out. We got every achievement, and that was like a similar situation, I think, where I think you look in that game going in, you're like, this looks too similar to something else. Like, let us play the game. In the end, we liked Bleeding Edge. The world didn't like Bleeding Edge. The world wasn't ready for Bleeding Edge. But like, Concord can have a chance, but I think they need to give it a chance. Like, it's, don't be Sony about this. Like, let's let everyone, as many people play the beta as possible. Give us an actual, like, I'm talking in June. If they don't do it at the Keighley, like, give us a 20-minute state of play again, like a mini state of play where they just tell us about Concord, like the Concord state of play. Let us know everything that's going on, every character, every power, whatever. Like, get us excited, and I think it could be a fun game. Like, it does look like a fun game, you know?
Yeah, I think the key word you said there, though, Dave, is like they haven't sold it to us, and
No,
I think
they
that is going to be the challenge, because if this is a game which we have to buy, this is a market that is basically, you know, the multiplayer shooter market now has been educated that free to play is the way to go. That's what the consumer pretty much expects at this point. You know, if there's a multiplayer shooty game, most people who are into that sort of thing expect it to be free to play now.
Yeah,
that's the reality of the situation, right? They don't expect to be paying money for it. They expect the transactions and all of that kind of shithousery. And I think that's where this is really going to struggle and stumble. If this is, even if it is £35, I think that's gonna be a tall ask, personally.
That's right.
Next up, though, we had some God of War Ragnarok, and it's coming to the PC freaks this September. And I believe it is essentially like the definitive edition with all the DLC, right?
Yeah.
And there's all sorts of specs and numbers, and I'm sure I saw Nvidia come on the screen, and there was some ultra wide stuff, right? I'm sure all the PC freaks were loving this, right?
So you can use DLSS, FSR, and I think the other one is XESS or something. That's the Intel one, but I don't know who, because the other two are AMD and Nvidia things, which are the graphics cards. I think most people have. The Ultra Light look cool when they switch to Ultra One. It's like, yeah, that would actually be quite cool. But yeah.
play God of War Ragnarok. It's good. That's all we got to say.
Yeah, essentially. And it coming to Steam is obviously a good thing. They did say about the PSN requirement, but if you are getting upset about that, then God, you need to go.
Yeah, grow up in it. But and also, Craig,
do
play
something
God of
else
War
if you
Ragnarok,
like.
mate. Come on,
Yeah.
play it. Play it, Craig.
One day. After that, what was an absolutely huge moment?
Mine and Craig's game of the show.
me and looking on the kind of funny reaction after Snowbite Mike popped for the Dynasty Warriors Origins was announced for next year. I am fully expecting this to come out because the recent most recent Dynasty Warriors game was an absolute shit show. And my head knows that this is going to be horrific. But in my heart of heart, boys, I am holding on to hope. I actually thought this was quite a good-looking trailer. There's almost some like Kessany moments, Dave. I don't know if you got that when when they were riding the horsey in. It looked great. I love this. I thought this looked brilliant. The only bit weird was is like I think they said you're a nameless protagonist.
It's a like prequel. It's like
yeah.
It looks quite for Dynasty Warriors, quite realistic. Apart from they slowed down at one point and they go through his face and it looks weird. But apart from that,
I mean, there's a flame horse not 2 seconds ago in the trailer, Chris. So.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. You know, their games are normally more cartoony style than.
Yeah, I really like the look of this. I'll be honest. I was pleasantly surprised, and I was like, okay, I'm in. Like, I haven't played a Dynasty Warrior game in 10 years, so I think it's probably time to start hitting hordes and hordes and hordes of dudes. So yeah, if they stick the landing, I'm actually this is one of the better games in this show, so I was pretty pleased with that.
And you'll be pleased to know, Craigie, that one is coming to the Xbox as well.
Yeah, I assumed it would be.
Craig's a PlayStation fan now. We haven't got to pretend he likes Xbox anymore.
Yeah. I don't know if
any interest for you, Pengi? You like a Musu sometimes, don't you?
I do like I do like a Muso, but I normally like the Muso one that's got Zelda characters and Fire Emblem characters,
or
other Nintendo characters.
Scantily clad anime girls that when you hit them, their clothes come off, Chris. Because we can't forget your addiction to Senran Kagura, and I will never let you forget.
Yeah, but that wasn't made by Koei Tecmo, so I wasn't counting that.
But you are waiting for the next one to come out.
And I could also still see like a Nintendo Direct or something like, here's our Xenoblade Chronicles Warriors game or something, which I'd be slightly more interested in because of the IP plastered over it than this, but it does look good.
Nice.
Yeah, I just watched the trailer again whilst Chris was talking, and I'm full of happiness.
The viewers got to see it as well, and I'm sure they're full of happiness as well.
Yeah. I think the last Musu I tried was the demo of that Fire Emblem one on Nintendo. I really liked the Musu part of it, and I believe there was like in between it was like you have tea parties and
stupid Pengle stuff that ruins Fire.
And I was like, what the actual fuck? And turned that off immediately.
Oh yeah, you played Free Hosts, which obviously you can go on tea parties for the Edelgard and stuff.
Don't
great.
Chris and his people have killed Fire Emblem, and it's gonna kill Fire Emblem Warriors.
No, because if you going off track, but there's rumours that the next Fire Emblem could be even because Engage has sold quite poorly compared to Free Houses. It could go even more social linked.
Well, we'll cross that terrifying bridge, Chris, when we go in Nintendo Direct. So let's continue onwards now for very quickly through the next game. So I think only Chris is gonna have anything to say.
Yeah.
So after that, we had a upcoming open world RPG, which was Infinity Nikki. This is getting a beta test in Q3 this year. This is basically a AAA console smoz of a popular mobile game.
Yeah, because
that I imagine is popular of a very specific audience because it looked like something, right, boys?
It's one of two games, isn't it, that this developer showed?
They showed the next game after.
Yeah, they both look like schmozzy Chinese / AI made copies of games that already exist.
Yeah, I can't even imagine you, Pengi, are gonna.
It looks terrible as well. That first one, like I think graphically it looks
Really
terrible
did.
as well. Like I think it
The
looks really poor.
voice acting was just
Yeah,
horrific
like
as
again,
well,
I'm
wasn't
not
it?
convinced it's not an AI thing. To be honest with you.
Yeah,
See,
it
I
wouldn't
thought it
surprise me.
looked quite good
Yeah, but you've got
graphically in that
terrible
Infinite
taste,
Nikki.
Chris. Terrible taste.
I mean,
And
that voice acting, Pengi, you don't want anyone hearing you playing or watching that.
Especially
no,
not
the
in
voice
Wellington.
God,
acting, the voice
God,
acting is pretty. But the bit
yeah,
here on the trailer where she's floating in the sky with her umbrella leaf thing looks pretty good. And this is going to be even more shocking. Why I've got confidence in this game. It's the 12th one in the series. All the rest have been mobiles first, and where it's from a director of Breath of the Wild. He left Nintendo to work on this game, and he's the director of this as well.
Wow.
And you can
Well, I
kind of
imagine
see,
he's getting paid bank for that.
I'd imagine
and you
that he
can,
was fired for wanting to put sexy anime girls in
and you can kind of see the Breath of the
Zelda.
Wild, thing like big open world. Like there's a bit where she goes into what looks a bit like a shrine and thing, but it's like a white door and stuff like that. But which again surprising because I don't like Breath of the Wild. But this has got like a story where Nikki has to save the world or whatever. Who knows? But the beta or
Yeah,
test is Q3, so I guess wait till Q3 and find out. When this was also first announced, it was announced for PS4 and PS5, but no mention of PS4 now. So sorry,
Lovely.
yeah, I'm
PS4
sure that's
owners.
upset about 4 people. But moving on.
Mhm.
After that, we had a trailer for Where Winds Meet, which I vaguely remember being shown at
That
another
that wasn't
showcase
that
ages
wasn't the
ago.
next trailer.
Okay, well, that's what we're going to do next, Pengi, because that's
Okay.
what I've started anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, Where Winds Meet, I'm pretty sure this was at a Keighley show or something else before, right?
Mhm.
Is it like a Soulsy martial art game? Very stylish. It looks like another one of these like South Korean, Chinesey like Soulsy clones that will eventually come out or may not be good, right?
Mm. They call it an epic Watsai open world action adventure RPG set in ancient China. Bringing
What's
martial art
wild is it's the different game to the one that I'm currently showing on screen, but I couldn't tell
yeah.
you that they're different.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah, I think
there's a real kind of plethora of this sort of thing coming out
yeah,
at the
too
moment. Isn't
much. I think not for us probably covers it. And we can move on, right?
Yeah, yeah. Like even me liking Rise of the Ronin and Stellar Blade, looking at the trailer of this, like that combat looks quite intense, but you never know. Might be different when it eventually comes out. Who knows? And they've like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon is inspiration and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah, before that, apparently, even IGN got confused because these games all look so similar. Apparently, we had Ballad of Antara, which is a high fidelity, free to play action RPG releasing next year.
Mm.
I'm reading that straight from IGN. I didn't even realize it was a free to play game. I'll be
No,
honest.
Yep,
neither
it
did I,
is.
which is
It
terrifying.
is free to. It's from. This is the weird. This is from the same team that or same publisher of Infinite Nikki. And you think out of the two, which one would be free to play? You think it'd be Infinite Nikki. You've got to buy dresses and stuff like that. Nope,
Yeah.
that's a game you buy. Ballad of Antana is a free-to-play game, which, if you look on like the blog post, says like it's got a full-fledged single-player adventure and stuff like that. So how it's free-to-play, I don't really know. Like, are you buying swords or something, or is there going to be? Is there a multiplayer mode? Because they said it's got a full-fledged single-player mode in it. So, yeah. Out of the two, that and the Where Winds Meet, this one I think looked a bit better. Like the art style and the colourful nuss of it a little bit more.
I couldn't tell them apart. To be honest. So these weird soulsy games like from that region of the world, they all just look the same.
That one is coming to Xbox if you would like to play on that.
I think that'd be a hard pass from your
Yeah.
boy. Don't
Again,
you
that
worry.
they're doing that one multi-platform, but not Infinite Nikki, that publisher. There you go.
Yeah. After that, we got the PSVR 2 mini show, let's call it, in the middle of the state of play. And we'll emphasise the word mini. because we had first up from the Walking Dead Saints and Sinners developer, they announced Behemoth, I believe it was called, which was a like sword and shield VR experience with some large-looking creatures, right? A la maybe Shadow of the Colossus, but VR.
Yes.
I don't know. I know this is coming to MetaQuest as well, by the looks of it.
Yeah,
So
it is.
you too can play it on your Quest 2s and 3s.
Yep.
Did it do anything for you, Pengi?
Yeah, I thought this looked quite good for because VR games I don't think ever show good on a trailer and stuff like that. But from what I've seen, looks good, and the reputation of the studio for Walking Dead is big. The only thing is, I can see it being like 50 quid or something, which is quite a lot for a download of a title. But it is on all VR platforms, so that's a good thing. So all the Quest players can play it as well.
Yeah. Anything for you, Davey? To take a break from your mini golf?
No.
No. I thought that was coming. I'll be honest. And then the second one we got in the PSVR 2 segment, the second and final, was they showed let's call it a glimmer of Alien Rogue Intrusion, that was called, which is out this holiday apparently on PSVR 2. And I believe this is coming to essentially all VR platforms, right?
Yeah.
So once again, this is one that you boys can play. Obviously, there is not a hope in hell of Dave playing this. I don't think you could hold him down and make him.
No.
So basically, Pengi, it's all on you. Are you diving into the alien world in VR?
No. I'm
No?
not. No.
Oh.
No.
Why not,
It's
Pengi? You
good.
not think it looked very good? Or is even horror in VR too much for you?
One I don't think. Well, it's hard to tell if it looks good or not because it is like 10 seconds long. But like horror
Yeah.
in VR is weird because like I have played Resident Evil in VR, which was fine, sort of thing. But like this, I think it's just gonna be like the pure thing is gonna be jump scares and stuff, and I can't be doing that. Like Resident Evil isn't about like jump scares or anything like that. What this is gonna be, and I'm like, I can't be doing that.
Yeah, and it looked like it was a first-person shooter sort of thing, right? From the, like I said, the glimmer of something resembling gameplay that they showed.
Yeah.
So that was it for the PSVR 2.
They said
Is
games,
that-
and we had two, so there we go. But they said what they said.
Yeah. So, I mean, who knows? That could be the last hurrah. And what a way to go, aren't they? After that, we had a game which Penguin was kind of hinted at earlier, which was Marvel's Rivals is coming to PlayStation 5. We get a closed beta in July. This is another Overwatch-style games, boys, in what is about to become a pretty overcrowded market, I feel. But obviously this time you're playing as Marvel characters instead of kind of rip-off Guardians of the Galaxy characters. This has already been about for a little while on PC in some sort of betas or something or another, right?
Yeah.
I actually thought this looked better than Concord, I'm going to be honest. And my reasoning is that this literally just looked like a clone of Overwatch. I could literally see, there's the Pharah character, there's the Reinhardt character. Oh, this map looks basically like Hanamura. Like, you could literally just see it was pretty much a reskin. Which it sounds bad to say I'd be more interested in that, but at least I could see kind of what the direction was and what the gameplay loop is kind of going to be. It's free to play as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is the big thing for obviously these sorts of games. Did this do anything for you, Pengi?
No, absolutely not. I think I kind of agree with you, but to me this looks like it's from NetEase who make mobile games. To me, this looked like a mobile game with some stuck Marvel skins on it. I did not think this looked good at all, and this is where like out of the two, I thought Concord looked better than this, and this I don't get. Like watching other reactions, kind of funny. Like a bit of Giant Bomb, bit of other people Xbox era, my Xbox, and like me and thing. Everyone seems really positive of this. Some have played the beta, and remember there was that NDA thing where they had to be positive on the game, and then NetEase or whoever it is was like, no, we're sorry about that. You can actually say what you want. But everyone seems super positive on that. So are they? I don't know if they're all super positive because of that NDA, or they are telling the the truth on the positive of the. But I did not think. Yeah, it's free to play. I guess.
I can confirm I have not signed an NDA, Pengi.
No, I know you not, but the people that have played the game and then like the pre-beta and stuff, it was news a few weeks ago and stuff like that. That like they had to be positive on the title, and it seems everyone seems to be really positive on this and how brilliant it is. And like this just looks like a mobile game. You put Marvel skins on it.
I think it was just a better showing, to be honest with you. I think that's maybe just the simpleness of it. This was just right. Here's the gameplay. It was quite clear what was going on and what they were doing, and it was kind of slick, fast. It was very clear that the marketing was free to play. I watched this. I knew exactly what was going on. I could see the Overwatchness of it.
Yeah, see that I agree on. I can
Whereas I
understand
think
what's
the
going on. I just
Concord
didn't
was a
think
bit
it
more
looked
clouded.
just didn't think it looked right. I thought it looked like a mobile version of Overwatch that someone stuck a Marvel skin on.
Yeah. What about you, Davey? Did this make you want to dive into an Overwatch clone?
No, but I think you're kind of right. You knew what it was from the trailer. You knew exactly who it was aimed at. You knew exactly what platforms it's on. You knew exactly the characters, exactly the type of game, the monetization, everything. It looked polished enough. Crucially, people have played it, so that's always going to give it advantage on these things. Like if they've played it, they're going to be more like, oh, unless it's truly terrible, they're going to be like, well, I played it, it's fun. Like we played it, it's fun. The team up thing seems interesting. With like the characters with certain franchises teaming up together with like a super, I guess. Like that seemed kind of cool, but I don't know. Again, the difference between this and the Concord demo, the Concord showing was just that they showed it better. Like if Concord had this level of showing in that you knew exactly what it was and exactly what the game modes were, blah 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 blah, which again is easier because it's so obviously a Overwatch clone with Marvel Rivals, then it's different. But yeah, I just think Concord isn't where Marvel Rivals is in its PR yet, so of course it looks worse. But I'm not gonna play it. It's free to play, so I could try it, but it's not. I have no hankering to get into a really like monetizationally heavy, time-consuming Overwatch clone. If Concord is more than that, then that would interest me more. But we don't know. That's I think that's the point. Like we just don't know what it is really. Like cool. It looks like it's a 5-on-5 shooter, but like that could be anything. That could be Rainbow Six, that could be COD, that could be Overwatch, right? So, till they show.
Are we getting a Star Wars version of this as well?
Probably.
Yeah, it's a Switch. Yeah, Switch. Star Wars Hunters.
Yeah. Switch.
That's a Switch exclusive.
Yeah.
So we're just getting endless of these at this point.
One is coming to Xbox as well, Marvel.
Yeah.
And it's got cross-play, cross stuff, I believe. So.
Yeah.
There's a bonus exclusive scheme though on PlayStation.
After that, we got the Until Dawn remake, which we've seen before. This is a new trailer, and we got a full 2024 release window. This is like a different team, isn't it? That's making this. Ballistic Moon, I want to say. Yep. Was that right? I'm going to be honest, I wasn't really blown away by it. I think I messaged Dave at the time, like, I want to play Until Dawn. And I was just like, I think I'll just play the original one, because that's on PS Plus, obviously, or whatever the hell it's called, PlayStation Game Pass. Because, I didn't think this looked like particularly like new and pretty, but I don't know if that's because I'm thinking that the original Until Dawn looked newer and prettier than what I'm thinking in my head. But there is also a movie coming out, right, which is why they're doing this, I assume. You both liked Until Dawn, I believe. Pengi, are you going to rush out and buy this remake?
I don't know if I'll rush out and buy it, but I will most probably play it thing. It's weird because I thought this didn't look good, even though it's in like Unreal Engine 5, and we know what Unreal Engine 5 can do based on Hellblade. We can know how good that can look. I have seen people who have done like trailer comparisons like this next to the original, and it does look better when you put them side by side. But yeah, it's hard to tell, and it's got the new camera angles and stuff like that. I guess it depends how much it is as well. Like, if it's a remake, like Last of Us Part One was $70 or 70 quid or whatever, but Last of Us Part Two remaster was 50. Like, so is this going to be 50 quid? I don't know. That's the thing.
Yeah, that does seem a lot, doesn't it, for what it appears to be. Dave, I believe you like the original Until Dawn. Does this make you want to play it again or buy it again?
Absolutely not. This falls into the another one of the why are people considering this a remake? Like, I don't get it. Like, I just don't get it. It's such a remaster.
It doesn't look like a remake to me at all.
And it's like there's no way they got those actors back in to redo their facial animations and their voice cast because they're too big time. Like, they're too big time actors for them to have done that. So it's kind of like it's quite clearly just remastered models in a new engine. It's just like me and Chris could have this argument every week about Last of Us Part 1. Like, Last of Us Part 1 is a remaster. It's not a remake. But like but they've already used the word remaster in the previous versions. They had to use something else. But like, yeah, I just think it's pointless. If you haven't played it, great. But like you said, like, it's on PS Plus. It's really, the experience will be the same. It might not be 4K, like DLSS, like whatever, but like the core experience of the game will be exactly the same. Playing it on the PS4 version, that was a good-looking PS4. It's a horror game as well. It's all darkly lit. Like, I don't see the point. If it's the first time it's come to PC, then cool. But like, I don't see the point.
I think that's also a bit why we're getting this remake or whatever. I'm just calling it the Unreal Engine 5 version of it. It's because it's coming to PC, and sort of like, why not put it on PS5 as well if we're doing that and you're getting the film sort of thing. If like watching the trailer now, it's like it's got a film grain over it or something. Well, it kind of makes sense because it's trying to be like a film, but yeah, there's kind of just something a little bit off about it. I'm not sure what is, and I'm predicting it comes out like October 25th because that's a Friday before Halloween.
Yeah, I'm watching the original trailer right now, and this looks absolutely fine to me. I'll be honest, absolutely fine. Moving on, we had a PC game. We had Path of Exile 2. Is releasing in early access in late 2024. I thought this was already out. This is how little interest I show in PC gaming. People are really into these. It's a top-down, like isometric mods, right?
Yeah, it's very Diablo-y.
Yeah. I can't imagine it's one for any of us, though.
Absolutely not.
No, because I've got like Diablo 4 to play at some point.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. It is also coming to Xbox, that one.
Yeah.
And it's got cross-play and cross-progression and all that good stuff, so.
After that, Silent Hill 2 remake finally has a release date, Pengi, which you have been hankering for ages, and it is October 8th. They showed the game again. This is another one where I look at. I don't know. It really doesn't blow me away. I never played any of the original Silent Hill games. I have no nostalgia for them or anything like that. But the Resident Evil 2 remake was basically the game that got me into Resident Evil because it just looked so unbelievably good. Whereas this, I don't know, it looks okay. I don't know, for Blueprint, I always feel like it looks a little bit worse than the Medium. I don't know. But then they are working on like 600 projects at once at this point, I believe.
Yeah.
So I don't know if maybe they're a little bit stretched quite thin. Quite a awkward trailer. I thought it cut quite a lot. You didn't really get to see anything in like flow or action. Which again, there might be a reason why they're doing that. Again, this is a game that I think you probably, out of all of us, are the most excited for, right, Pengi? So did this do anything for you?
So this trailer, again, looked bad here, and a bit like Until Dawn, it's like there's something off about it. After the state of play, was a Silent Hill transmission, which was like, I want to say like 40 minutes long, and most of that 40 minutes was gameplay of Silent Hill 2 in the hospital and thing, and it looked much better there than it did in this trailer and stuff. That gave me more hope than this trailer from that Silent Hill trans mission that we had, and then where the other 20 minutes they were going through pre-order bonuses for the game and stuff like digitally. They announced I think like 2 million people had downloaded the short messages and a bunch of merchandise. There's a like not gonna say because spoiler statue, which is gonna cost like 32,000 yen, and there's like a T-shirt, and they showed a bit of the movie, behind the scenes of the movie. It was like I get why they did it because they showed Silent Hill again, and it was like a bit like a Silent Hill only state of play, and it did look much better. But seeing there's like 700 Silent Hill projects on the work, I'm surprised we didn't see anything else in that thing, especially the like I can't remember who's doing it, but they're doing like a radio like episodic Silent Hill game, not the TV series one because that's already been gone, and the other one kind of similar like that wasn't shown at the Silent Hill transmission, which I was kind of surprised about. But yeah, it did look better in the Silent Hill transmission. So I guess if you've not seen that, maybe go check that out where gameplay does look better.
Yeah, I'm actually, as you speak, found it, and GameSpot have like a 14-minute excerpt of that show, which is just the gameplay of Silent Hill 2. And you are right, it does look better than what they showed in that kind of odd trailer during the state of play.
Yeah.
Babe, do you have any affinity to Silent Hill, or was it too scary for you back in the day?
No, I played them back in the day. Yeah, like I said, I think the state of play showing was really off. I think that showing looks much worse than like say Alone in the Dark that came out already.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not something that I'm in any rush to replay. To be honest with you, but we'll see. There's still more time to see if that's worth people's time, you know.
Yeah, definitely. After that, we had what was, I think, a highlight of the show for me, definitely, and actually maybe for all of us. Capcom showed Monster Hunter Wilds, and we actually got like a pretty decent little bit of gameplay as well shown. Because last time it was essentially just a kind of a reveal trailer, right?
Yeah, this is the first time we got gameplay.
I thought it looked absolutely spectacular, boys. I thought the character models looked so much better than I've seen in any Monster Hunter game so far. I thought the monsters just looked absolutely incredible. Like the fur on them flying around in the wind. There's the one with the big tongue, right? And the tongue looked great. The environments looked fantastic. They were showing off some sort of weapon, but I don't know if it was a gun launcher, if it was like a new weapon. Yeah, I thought this was like absolutely incredible, personally. I know you very much into Monster Hunter Rise, Pengi, and a little bit into. Did this blow your dick off like it did for me?
Yeah, it did look very good. Thing, and obviously saw these two brand new monsters. They talk about them, and obviously the game has like the VO limp sync result, but like Hunter even had voice acting and stuff like that, and they've announced some more details afterwards. Like seems to be like more story elements and stuff in the Monster Hunter game, and like why you're exploring this land, and it seems like it might be open world, and they have confirmed. I'm not sure if he's the director or whatever's going to be at SGF showing more gameplays, so hopefully we can learn some more soon. And they seem to be showing quite a bit of this, so I wouldn't even be surprised it gets dated at SGF or like a slightly like less vague date of like Q1 2025 instead of just 2025 or something like that. I can see this being early, because Capcom kind of do normally have an early game.
Yeah, when was Dragon's Dogma? Was it February?
Yeah, and they've like Resident Evil 2 remake, and that was like January and stuff like that, if I remember.
Definitely see that kind of falling into that.
And I think Rise was space. Like first half of the year when that came out, and I guess also GTA 6 is these like basically confirmed it's going to be full 2025. You know, you can see see something like this like push closer to the start of the next year. But yeah, look, very good. This one again this is one of the 5 games that are also coming in Xbox out of the 12 that was shown. Sort of things you can play it there. But I guess you will actually play it on PlayStation with me and Davey, because I guess you will get this, Davey.
Yeah, I'll absolutely be buying Monster Hunter as long as it lines up when I'm not moving countries. But yeah, it looks good. It looks like a sequel to World. I actually popped World back in just to see if it still looked good, and it's had a 4K 60 patch on PS5, and it does look very good. So, yeah, like we've said this many times, Capcom rarely misses, so I'm sure it'll be good.
It seems like there was quite a lot of emphasis on the mount as well in the gameplay, right? Which is cool.
Yeah, and like that little chicken bird chocobo thing, like he swoops it and then picks you up and stuff when you're fighting one of the monsters. It looks very cool.
Yeah, definitely. And then if your dick wasn't already blown off at this stage, boys, it definitely was about to be, because we got the Astro Bot trailer, which was the announced trailer. It was everything, boys. It was an announced trailer. It was the date. It was gameplay. It was bloody brilliant. Let's be honest, boys. It was refreshing, I thought, as well, because we're all used to the cadence of these trailers, right? Where you get the CGI reveal, like you get another trailer, but you get a date this time, and then you're waiting another 10 months till the game comes out. That's normally how this works, kind of, right? And it was just nice to see a team who were just very confident what they had, skip all that, show endless amounts of gameplay. It all looked fantastic, and then put a date on it at the same time, right? I thought this was brilliant. Even for someone like me who has very little affinity with some of like the kind of the old school PlayStation stuff they were showing, like was it Padappa the Rapper or whatever the hell it's called?
Yeah. Were you watching this and like, that's Wanderer from Shadow of the Colossus that I just played?
yeah, I did pop for that, I guess. But yeah, I thought this was absolutely fantastic. Dave, I know you were also kind of
it's
blown away from this.
It's a day one. It's a pre-order. Like I don't even. It's not even that much I want to talk about it, because it's like I'll play it. I can't wait. They've nailed it. Play Playroom if you have a PS5, because it's still probably the best game on there.
And for you, Pengi, I imagine you were jumping up and down, flapping your arms hysterically at this point, right?
Oh yeah, this looked so good. And obviously there was more info afterwards, like 6 galaxies, 80 worlds. Even though like the trailer, watching it now, like kind of like cool, but also like this seems like they're showing all the bosses already. Because there's like, this says like there's a boss at the end of every galaxy, and I'm pretty sure I've seen like at least 5 bosses here. But yeah, it looks cool. The PlayStation like characters, and I think I messaged JV or put in the chat with you, because obviously I didn't watch the state of play until the next day in the afternoon. Like, oh, maybe we get a special edition of that controller. It's like, it's mainly white, but it's got the blue sides and stuff. And then it looks a lot like the God of War controller they did.
Oh, I want the bits that flap out as well. I want the little wings to come out. If I fucking badass. I'd pay money for that.
It looks so good. And then we all went and bid on it on Fancy Credit, which you
and the person with the least money won the bid as well, which is funny.
I put in 50, and I was like, "There's no way that they're going to put 50 in for this." And then 58, and I was like, "You bastard, you rat bastard."
Because I think everyone's already thinking and talking about like, can this be Game of the Year?
I don't, unless something new gets announced, I can't see a lot else beating it. But
Nintendo's always the interesting one. Like, what they could do something at the Nintendo Direct. I'm like, okay, it's Metro Prime 4 or something. Yeah, I can see that being Game of the Year. But if I had to put money on it now, I would think Astro Bot.
Nice.
And the release date was September 6th. Looking at this, which doesn't feel like massively far away, does it?
No, a couple of months.
No.
Nice. Well, as we're on an hour and 20 minutes, let's get some grades for the show, and then we'll save what we've been buying and playing, and we'll just do a much larger one next week, I think, because this is now getting silly. Hour and 20 minutes of chaos. Craig Warren, you've watched that whole show. You've talked through it now. From what scale do we use now? We're using 1 to 5, 1 to 10. What we talking?
1 to 5, yeah.
1 to 5, Craigie. What do you think of that state of play, and why?
Oh, I thought it was good. I didn't think it was very long. It was like 30 minutes. Didn't overstay its welcome at all. It was exactly kind of what we thought it was gonna be. it's a shame that some of it had kind of leaked, I guess. Although I guess that was also good because for me it set expectations very nicely. I think I did say today I comically was watching the IGN like feed of the show, which meant I had to watch about a minute of their build up. God, they were going on about Last of Us Part 3 being announced, Ghost of Tsushima Part 2, Wolverine, and I was just sat there going, no, you're idiots, you're morons. And this was pretty much exactly what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was a lot of fun. I mean, I know I kind of not shit on, but was maybe a bit critical of some of the games that were shown, but it had some really good highs in Monster Hunter Wilds and Astrobot, and obviously Dynasty Warriors stole my little heart, and it's probably going to crush my little heart next year when it comes out. So I don't know. I'd probably give it a 4. I walked away quite positive from the whole thing, I thought.
Pengi.
I do think Astro and Monster Hunter carried the show quite a bit, but then on paper it's like I'm gonna get Astro, I'm gonna get Monster Hunter, I'm most probably get Silent Hill, Concord, who knows, Dynasty Warriors. So it's like there's 5, 6 games that I don't care about the 2 weird Souls-like games really. Even though one's free to play, so it might be worth a good thing. But the problem is, you did say we kind of got spoiled with like the leaks, but then they can't really help that. So I'm gonna go for like a 3.5 out of 5.
Nice. I think until Astro, I was probably sat at a 2. So Astro's made it a 3.
Even with Monster Hunter.
Well, they didn't show anything new for Monster Hunter for me. Like I was like, cool, Monster Hunter still looks cool. Like, fine. Obviously Astro looks great. Concord didn't tell us enough. I don't care about Silent Hill. I don't care about Until Dawn. I don't care about the 3 Chinese games. I don't care about VR, which they made VR look even worse than it already does. Again, expectations, right? But expectations doesn't mean that because they said it was going to be crap that you can still give it a 5. Like, you know what I mean? I thought it was fine. Like, it's absolutely fine. I'll play Astro. I might end up playing Concord this year. Monster Hunter's next year. Dynasty Warriors next year. Yeah, there just wasn't a lot. Like if I were just a PlayStation owner, I would be looking at between now and the end of the year going, it's going to be a very third-party heavy year. But even that wasn't really on show here. So if their big two games were Astro and Concord, one of those looks great. One of them I don't really know what it is. So not to be a Debbie Downer, I'm just being fair. To be honest with you, I just don't. For 2024, I don't think there's much at all on PlayStation. But yeah, there we go.
What was it? A 3, a 3.5, and a 4.
There we go. See, so we'll average out 3.5. It's all good. But that is the show. We will do a extensive what we've bought, what we played next week.
Well, next week's going to be a long one.
It's going to be a long one.
Next Sunday, because we would have had Summer Game Fest, we would have had Xbox, the other 700
Maybe
shows.
we'll just have a one show at the end of the month where we just talk about what we've played. Maybe we'll do that. But yeah, thank you for watching. If you've got an hour and 23 minutes, let us know in the comment, and we will see you next time.
Bye.